Singles concept number 2, defensive, neutral, offensive. Again, this comes from Steve Smith's Great Base Curriculum, which is a compilation of knowledge he amassed over a lifetime of studying some of the greatest tennis professionals in the world. He has hours and hours and hours of content, which you can find at greatbasetennis.com, or if you follow Great Base Tennis Facebook page. So, singles concept number 2, defensive, neutral, offensive, or DNO. This concept is going to take the red zone from singles concept number 1 and divide it into 3 sections. It's also going to incorporate the Lendl grid, which we'll talk about in a few minutes. From the neutral area of the red zone, we'll call it right on the baseline. If you were to draw a line from here to this corner, and draw another line from here to this corner, the angle between those 2 lines would be 19.6 degrees. If you were to draw the same lines from the corner, it'd be 19.1 degrees. So you say on the baseline that you have just under 20 degrees of potential angle. If you move back into the defensive area of the red zone, you have less angle, and as you move forward into the offensive area of the red zone, you get more angle. If you move all the way up to the service line in the yellow zone, you have 30 degrees of potential angle, and if you're 3 feet from the net in the green zone, you have over 130 degrees of potential angle, which is why you want to end points up in the green zone. So, incorporating Lendl's grid. When you're in the defensive area of the red zone, we want to simplify your decision making. So, to play the highest percentage tennis you can. When you're in the defensive area of the red zone, you want to aim to hit between A and A. Keep the ball centered. You give your opponent less angle because an angle begets an angle, and you also minimize your chance of making an unforced error by missing wide from a defensive position. As you move into the neutral area of the red zone, you can now hit to A and B. So you're allowed to spread the court a little bit more. As you're closer in, your opponent has a little bit less time and you have a little bit more angle to hit into. And once you get into the offensive area of the red zone, you can now hit to A, B, and C on both sides of the court. So from here, you can now attack more and try to create more of a short ball. And the reason that is because your opponent has less time as there's less distance, as well as you have more angles to hit into. Additionally, in the offensive area of the red zone, it's the first section on the court where it is advisable for you to run around a backhand to hit a forehand, because you're able to dictate points and create a short ball or a forcing shot. From the neutral or defensive area of the red zone, it's not advisable to run around your backhand and a forehand because your chance of creating offense is much less and you're giving up court positioning. So high percentage tennis, backhands in the defensive and neutral area of the red zone, you can run around the backhand to create offense in the offensive area of the red zone. Another note, from the baseline, every foot that you move back, you're going to want to aim a foot higher over the net to give yourself less chance of missing in the net. So, one more time, from the defensive area of the red zone, your target area should be A. Neutral area of the red zone, A and B become available. And from the offensive area of the red zone, A, B, and C, trying to create a short ball or a forcing shot. So that's singles concept number 2, defensive, neutral, offensive. In the next video, we'll go over singles concept number 3, which is percentage post.